Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. As always, it's lovely to see you. Come on in, take your coat off and sit down. I'll put the kettle on, we'll have a nice brew, get you a nice bit of cake. What do you think? What's your favourite cake? Got to be honest, I love a lemon drizzle or a bakewell. I love bakewell tart. So those of you that don't live in the UK, you might have to look that up. We have a place called Bakewell and it makes this gorgeous bakewell tart. Well, it would, wouldn't it? Mind you, we also have a place that makes very nice Melbury pork pies. Well, mind you, we have lots of places with food, don't we? But I've done it again, haven't I? I'm sorry. I always end up talking about food. I must stop. Maybe I need a brew and a cheeky biscuit. Oh, a bit of cake. That's obviously what I need. But I do think, when there's something sociable about meeting somebody and catching up and just having, I love it when we do the workshops and the first thing I say is we've got to have a brew, get the kettle on. There's something about just sitting down with somebody and being sociable and just having a drink, catching up and spending time, because I do think life can be so busy we do forget about spending time. Oh, and I must just, I'm sorry, I'm just going to lean across you. I had a lovely, when I went, so Caroline, thank you so much. When I went to Lavinia to do a workshop the other Saturday, there was the most gorgeous handwritten note and it was waiting for me in an envelope. And Caroline, honestly, I was thrilled to read that. I'm so glad you enjoy our catch-ups. And do you know what? It really does mean the world when I get letters like that and you email me and thank me. I don't do anything special. I just pop in here. I'm just a crafter like you. But I really honestly believe it's important we spend time together and help each other out where we can. Life can be terrible at times. It can also be great at times. But sometimes we all need a friend, and sometimes bad things happen and it's not your fault. There are some evil people around, but that's life and there always will be. But there has to be, otherwise the good people wouldn't shine through. So it's nice that we can just pop in here, spend a bit of time together. And I'm amazed how many of you message and say you listen at night. That always tickles me. I always think it's so funny. And it's like when I do workshops and the number recently have said, oh, that's what you look like. Because all we hear is your voice and see your hands. I mean, I don't know whether it's good or bad when they see me. I always say you're better just sticking with the voice and the hands. So I'm just having a chat today because a few of you have messaged and said things have happened recently and you just want to feel loved by somebody. So please come on in here, just listen to me rabbiting away about something or nothing. But just know you are important, you are loved. And there are lots of people on here in this lovely little family of our crafty family, and we will look after you. Today I'm just going to, while we're chatting and catching up, I'm going to make a very simple design. And often for me, I love a classy design that doesn't take a lot of products. So again, if you're just starting off, and I've been lucky at Lavinia at the Dreamatorium, Tracy invited me to do some taster sessions. And on Wednesday, I met a lovely lady, Anne, who hadn't really done anything before. She has a friend of ours, Sarah, in common. Sarah, I miss you, I love you, I need to see you again, we need a hug. And so she came and had a play, and it was lovely that she just enjoyed what we did. And it's quite, when you start, how would you start explaining? Because we build up so much knowledge, don't we? But also when she says, what stamp shall I start with? What do you say? I always say, what's your favourite? If fairies are your favourite, buy a fairy. Me, florals, got to be a floral. A lot of crafters like trees. If trees are your favourite, buy a tree. You can do a lot with a tree. So today I'm coming in, and again, I've been listening to you, and I know a lot of you like these smaller cards. So these are the B7. And again, my advice to Anne was buy a pack of the ready cut, because certainly for me, or buy an A4 and cut your own down. But I find the B7 size is just lovely at the minute. Great. And again, smaller cards are cheaper to post. I know we shouldn't talk about money, but you know what? It's true. And I'm thinking Christmas, I'm going to have to come up with a design to go on these for Christmas. And then on A6, card and envelope, that'd be great to get in the post. I mean, I love a good DL card, but again, I'm just thinking. So starting with a B7, and I'm literally going to use one stamp, and it's an along the edge design. It could be you haven't got, I'm using the honeysuckle. Now it might be you haven't got the honeysuckle, but I bet you've got a stamp that would make as good a design. And I just think sometimes it's nice to do what isn't the obvious. With this stamp, it's obvious just to stamp it in the middle. You could stamp it from the corner. We've done them before where we've stamped corner to corner. So I thought, let's just go along the edge and make that lovely, clean and simple design. And you know, if Mr. Mojo's gone, if you're not well, I know, oh, Frida, you're having your operation today, sweetheart. I hope it all goes well, and I can't wait to see you after, and we'll definitely need a big hug. So, Frida Gormley, I'm shouting out to you. We all need to send Frida a hug. I'm sure it's all going to go really well. So, floral. And what I'm thinking is, I just want it to meet roughly in the middle. So I'm going to pop it there and stamp. And again, it's not a silhouette, but there's lots of lovely, lovely detail in this stamp. So it needs a good stamp because you want that beautiful image look. And so what I'm going to do is turn it round and stamp it the other way so they meet in the middle. Lots of ways you could do this. And that's what I love about these designs. You know, we have lots of different ways of using these stamps. But if we look, if we stamp this, I can put the middle, there we go, those lovely little, I don't know what they are, stamens, correct me if I'm wrong, of the honeysuckle. They can almost join. And if I lift that up, look, you see how I seem to have a black mark there. I don't know where that's come from, but don't worry, we'll get rid of that. So we'll just give this a blot. We'll get rid of the paper. I'm just going to see if I can rub, because it'll annoy me, that little black mark. If not, I'll just add a black mark on the other and make it look like it's supposed to be there. Don't even know where it came from. But I think my rubber will certainly get rid of most of it, so nobody will know. These things happen, don't they? We have got these rubbers coming soon to the website, so keep your eye open for them. Fabulous. We all need one of those. Look at that. Nobody's going to know now, are they? Right, stencil. When I was looking through my stencils, I decided on this one. It's called Buds, and I don't use it very often. And you know me, I worry. If I don't use a stamp or a stencil, I think it's going to be upset and feel unloved. So I've gone for that. And the colours I've gone for is Blue Atoll. Now mine's are well used, so I really need to get myself another. So it's quite faint, so I'm going to have to work with this. Violet Chalk, again, well used, but I don't want to go for my flying pig, because I think it's going to be a bit strong. So again, I'm going to have to work with it. And then Dark Denim. But we'll see how we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this, I want it so I don't want any of the edges on, but I want one of these sort of in the middle. So I'm thinking I'm going to go for that. I'm going to hold it down. So we'll have Blue Atoll. And if any of this goes out of shot, all I can do is apologise. But I need to just keep this hand here. And I'm going to come in first of all with my Blue Atoll. And I'm just going to ink it round here. Now I'm actually coming straight from the ink pad because I know mine's so pale. But if yours is a newish one, I would always recommend blending the lid. I have to say I'm excited this weekend because I've got two lovely ladies. We've got them coming to stay. And I've met these ladies through crafting, and we've known each other for years and years and years. We've been through various stamp companies together. We've done lots of different crafts together. Claire's fabulous at Zentangle. She's an instructor. And that's what I love, you know, when you're into craft, it's nice to have friends that do other crafts. And as I say, to build up friendships and know these ladies for years and years and become friends. and our husbands get on well, and oh, it's just absolutely fabulous. And that's part of crafting, and that's what I love seeing how sometimes at workshops people meet and they suddenly realise they either grew up in the same area or they've got friends in common, and they then keep in touch. And for me, it's just wonderful. It's amazing what we can do. Craft can be so good, you know, bringing people together and really helping. So while we've been chatting, back to the card look, a little bit of blue, not too much, concentrating really on this area, top and bottom. So to emphasise that, this is where my purple's going to come in. And again, mine's well used. So I'm going to come straight from the ink pad. And I'm just going to go for 3 areas. Oh, and I like that. That's a lovely touch. And then in with the big colour. And this is definitely, I'm going in the lid because this is going to be very dark. And I just want this down this back panel, down this back edge, and lift that up. Now this, I'm going to keep this and put that in my journal. But look, can you see? So we've got the dark down the edge. We've got those lovely areas with the purple and then the blue in between. But what I do want to do, you can leave it like that if you want. But I just want, let me just get a piece of kitchen roll, which is right next to Eric's. So I just don't want to put any finger marks on here. We've got rid of one black mark. I don't want to have to get rid of any more. So with the dark denim, just going to come in at the corner. And if you right up the side, and then the same with this corner. But if you're careful, you know, you can add it on top of the dark denim already, but you'll still see the stencil work through. And it's lovely because it's very tone on tone, but it just gives another look. And I think that's so clever. So if I bring this up, look, we haven't obscured that stencil work. Can you see? We can still see it through. And I just think it gives that a lovely look. So what I am going to do is pop the lids on these. Then I want to add some little water splatters, but I want this ink here. So rather than mop that up, I'll get my fan brush. So let's check you can still see. And I'm just going to mop this colour up with my fan brush and some water. We might as well use it, you know. Now you could smoosh it. We've smooshed it before on card, but I'm thinking I just want to get this and add. Right, a little bit more water needed. And just bring that round. That's better. And down here. Yeah, love those. And just across there in the middle. I want more in the middle. And what happens is the water in it will do a bit of the faux bleaching. But because we've got that colour, we almost get both. We get the faux bleaching and the colour. Now again, yes, I did hear that question, thank you. So you could have it this way, couldn't you? And put your sentiment across. So that's a total different design, just gives a different look. But look at that. I don't think you need to do any more. And if I show you how it will look on black, if I just bring in a piece of black, so if you mat and layered this on black, but I'm going to put this, I've got a journal with black pages, and this is going to go in my journal. So I'm going to add a sentiment, and I've gone for, this is going on my first page, so I want the sentiment in the beginning. Now, I'm thinking of putting it, yes, I definitely like it there. I think in that space there. Get it straight. I'm having trouble getting things straight at the minute. But yeah, I'm happy with that. And that's going to be the first page. And then here's one I've got ready for if I need a card. I think that would make a lovely get well, thinking of you. So I hope you've got a lovely weekend planned. As I say, we've got a meal on Saturday night. Again, we're back to food. Sorry. So I hope you've got a lovely weekend. Let me know what you're up to. What are you doing? Don't forget, Lavinia, you've got the new release today as well. If you want to pop along, the new stencils are fabulous. I love them. You know me, I love stencils anyway, but I'm going to be using them quite a bit. And I've got a lovely Christmas card design in my head, just saying. So I better go now. I think Eric needs a bit of a walk. And take care. Thanks for popping in. And guess what? I'll see you again on Monday. Another calendar page on Monday. And then maybe some Halloween play on Tuesday. Who knows? And then there's always got to be some Christmas play. So you take care. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.